This month on NRN's In the Mix, we take you to create the future of food service.
Getting ready here at Create for the Candace Nelson event.
This is a healthy course. We're going to be a little sloppy at the end of this.
Oh my!
My dad was a corporate lawyer, so his whole life was about mitigating risk.
Candace Nelson shared insights from her early days founding Sprinkles Cupcakes.
So entrepreneurship was never part of the conversation in my house, but I did grow up baking.
And with that came an understanding of how to sell and market her signature cupcakes.
I didn't want to pipe the frosting because that felt too much like those supermarket cupcakes. So instead I hand frosted each one.
Create took place in early October, attended by restaurateurs eager to learn how to navigate what's become a very challenging restaurant market. Menu prices are up 28% on average since 2020, as household budgets remain stagnant.
Really starting to see this slowdown in traffic. Traffic in both limited service and full service restaurants is actually now declining, particularly in limited service, which has always sort of been the haven for consumers in tough economic times.
So how can restaurants stay competitive? According to NRN's Joanna Fantozzi, some of the best ideas came straight from the Create stage.
Namely, that they focused on putting out creative LTOs and changing up their core menu pretty often to give people a reason to keep coming back.
It all underscores a big market shift.
For most of my 25 years covering the food service industry, restaurateurs' biggest concern has been labor. Labor. But now, it's traffic.
According to NRN's Brett Thorne, there are now new rules to hospitality.
In a breakout session, I spoke with Adam Hallberg, the CEO of Barcelona Wine Bar. Very experiential place, big horseshoe tables, great food and service. And he essentially said that the key is to show people a good time. No matter what mood they're in when they arrive, it should be better when they leave. On a scale of 1 to 5, their mood should be 5 by the time they leave. How do you do that? Well, much of the discussion at Create was on focusing on your people. In a nutshell, if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers, and your customers will take care of you.
Now, these new rules appear to be defined by one word, which likely won't surprise you. Can you guess?
Efficiency is still a huge word. It has been a bigger and growing focus for restaurant operators since the pandemic, and then following with the inflationary and labor challenges. And we are still trying to figure out what that means. Essentially, operators are getting a little bit more sophisticated and going through their P&L a little bit more earnestly. The goal here is to set themselves up for success in 2025. Regardless of whether or not there's a challenging backdrop.
Now, speaking of growing and expanding, let's journey outside of Create for this last segment. NRN editorial director Sam Okus takes us to Brassica, a restaurant you'll probably see more of in the coming years thanks to a major investment it just got from Chipotle as part of its $100 million Cultivate Next fund. The goal is to accelerate the company's longer-term growth plans to operate 7,000 restaurants in North America. Here's what makes Brassica unique.
Brassica is particularly interesting because this is the first restaurant company that Chipotle has invested in. And it's also interesting because as a Mediterranean fast casual, Brassica seems poised to be a competitor to Cava, which is growing all over the country and really seems to own the Mediterranean fast casual category almost to itself. Brassica was launched in 2015 by Kevin, Darren, and Katie Malheim. You can order a sandwich, a salad, or a hummus plate, and then customize the toppings that go on that. Now, Chipotle has kind of a spotty history with its restaurant investments. In the past, it opened Shophouse Southeast Asian Kitchen, which grew to 15 locations and was a Southeast Asian fast casual. Before Chipotle shuttered all of those, they invested in Pizzeria Locale out of Boulder, Colorado, before they pulled out of that. They opened Tasty Made Burger in Lancaster, Ohio a few years back. That didn't go very far, only lasted one location and basically 1 year before it closed. But those concepts all were under the previous regime. Now that Chipotle is under different leadership and this Cultivate Next fund, which again launched in 2022, there's reason to believe that these investments are a lot more carefully placed, a lot more thought through. And Brassica, as a Mediterranean fast casual, is especially well positioned to satisfy demand in the marketplace and be a scalable concept that Chipotle should be able to foster and turn into a national success story.
So that wraps up this month's edition of NRN's In the Mix. Stay tuned for more industry insights, and as always, check out Nation's restaurant news at nrn.com. I'm Dinah Blass, and I'll see you next time.